HD TV on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
It's the most emotional experience that a person can go through to know that what they're working on is something that has reached a generation of people.
Oh my God.
Excuse me. Your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you?
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your...
You know it's bad when the Simpsons come for you. And this time, they didn't just throw shade. They torched Rachel Zegler's entire Snow White remake in front of millions. In the wake of Disney's box office catastrophe, Rachel Zegler is allegedly spiraling. Why? Because the longest-running animated show in TV history just dragged her through the mud in a savage parody that had Hollywood laughing.
This is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
Part of the first, fairy tale ever told.
Disney deleted Someday My Prince Will Come and made a modernized feminist alternative.
Now, I'm guessing that she's not married. I'm guessing that she doesn't have kids. The movie is a complete disaster, by the way.
And not with her. With the Snow White remake already labeled one of the most embarrassing disasters in Disney history, this takedown from The Simpsons might have been the final nail in the poisoned apple. And here's the wildest part. It's not just parody. It's personal. Rumor has it, Ziggler's team is scrambling behind the scenes, trying to contain what insiders are calling her Simpsons meltdown. And once you hear what was said in the episode,
I sat through the whole thing. This was really bad. It was extremely leftist on every political dimension. Racial politics, sexual politics, class politics, regime politics. Its narrative was cowardly. It was just awful.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White, women can't even want to be in love anymore.
Into this, the first villain Disney ever had. It's really getting myself into this big crown.
You'll understand why even Disney can't save her now. So buckle up because we're diving into everything. From the parody that sent Ziggler over the edge to the career-crushing fallout Disney didn't see coming. Let's start with the episode that set everything off. Snow Woke, the reimagining. Forget subtle satire.
So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it like on a metaphor?
She came out and she said, I apologize. Like I went too far, but it wasn't
Hardcore. They're petrified of some kind of backlash.
Broke out with this news, and I'm very, very, very excited and looking forward. Lines that they say like magic mirror on the wall. It was a lot of fun.
The Simpsons went in for the kill. Their version of Snow White, a preachy, self-important princess who fires the dwarfs for toxic masculinity, rewrites her own origin story mid-song and pauses the entire fairy tale to deliver a TED Talk on colonialism. Sound familiar? Yeah, they were roasting Rachel. Hard. Even the character's voice in the parody, a dead ringer for Zegler's interview tone.
They say all you have to do to make your wish come true is let it echo, 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 echo.
Queen playing the evil queen. It was pretty amazing.
For remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs, but they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erased that whole.
Fans picked up on it instantly, posting side-by-side clips that went viral in hours. By the next morning, Mike Snow Woke was trending again, and Ziggler allegedly locked down her team in a damage control huddle. But that wasn't even the beginning of the fallout. Here's where things get unhinged. Sources close to Ziggler say she didn't take the mockery lightly. According to a report circulating online, she was devastated by the parody and broke down in front of a team of reps and PR handlers, calling it a betrayal by the industry. One assistant even claimed she started listing names of execs she believed let it happen. Not that they could stop The Simpsons, but that just shows how shook she was. And then came the social media fallout. Ziggler posted a now-deleted story hinting at being targeted by powerful voices for speaking truth. Fans weren't buying it. Comment sections lit up with responses like, "Girl, it's a cartoon," and "Maybe don't tank the movie next time." Ouch. And from there, things only got messier. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, Snow White. The film was already in freefall before The Simpsons got involved. With a staggering $270 million budget and a final haul of just $184.2 million globally, it's been dubbed one of Disney's biggest live-action flops in years. Blame started flying fast at the script, the direction, the marketing, but eventually, it all circled back to Rachel. Her interviews before release? Brutal. She called the 1937 version creepy, mocked the prince as a stalker, and said Snow White wouldn't be saved by a man. Fans didn't just roll their eyes, they boycotted the movie. And The Simpsons? They turned all of that into punchlines. Disney hoped time would soften the blow. Instead, this parody ripped open the wound again, and Hollywood noticed. Behind closed doors, insiders say Disney execs are furious. After investing hundreds of millions and betting big on Ziggler's star power, they now find themselves scrambling to recoup losses and reconsidering future projects. One exec, quoted, anonymously, allegedly said, "We didn't just lose money, we lost trust." Remember the rumored live-action Tangled remake? Word on the street is it's on ice. Studios are scared to touch anything that smells like Snow White 2.0, especially with Ziggler attached. And if you think this is just about one movie, think again. The ripple effects are already shaking the industry. Next up, the cold shoulder from co-stars. One of the most telling signs of career fallout? Silence. People who used to ride hard for Ziggler have gone ghost. Castmates from past projects have dodged questions. Former directors who once gushed about her are moving on fast. Even Steven Spielberg, who directed Ziggler in West Side Story, has noticeably distanced himself. Remember when he called her a once-in-a-generation talent? Yeah, that quote's been wiped from multiple promo archives, and don't forget Jonah Platt, son of Snow White's producer. He publicly slammed her, saying her political rants hurt the film's rollout. Now, that was before The Simpsons parody dropped. After that, even the neutral voices went quiet. But not everyone is staying silent. In fact, one unexpected figure just spoke up, and it changes everything. Enter Leah Michelle. Yes, the Glee star. Apparently, she had thoughts. After the Simpsons episode aired, a now viral video shows Michelle smirking when asked about it during a red carpet interview. Her only comment? Sometimes the industry writes its own fairy tales and its own endings. Cryptic? Absolutely. But fans took it as shade, especially since Michelle and Zegler were once pitted against each other in online debates over Broadway. Vocal supremacy. The tea? Rachel allegedly auditioned for a high-profile musical project that ended up going to someone else, and insiders say her Snow White press tour was the reason. If that's true, we're looking at real career consequences. Here. And it doesn't stop there. Let's talk public perception. Even before the parody, Rachel Zegler memes were everywhere. But now, it's a meme explosion. TikTokers are reenacting the Simpsons scene using real clips of Zegler interviews. One video comparing her original Snow White press comments to the parody hit 4 million views in under 48 hours. The comments? Savage. Simpsons did what Disney wouldn't. Hollywood's sweetheart arc just speed-ran into villain mode. And the most brutal one? Rachel Zegler went from princess to punchline. When your audience turns you into a joke, it's hard to come back from that. Unless something major shifts. Allegedly, Rachel Zegler's PR team is in DEFCON 1 mode right now. You'd think this was a national crisis the way her reps are scrambling behind the scenes. The moment the Simpsons parody aired and social media lit up, the Ziggler camp went straight into reputation triage. According to a well-placed insider with ties to her management agency, what's happening internally is being described as a brand. Rescue operation? Not a refresh, not a pivot, a rescue, because at this point, the damage control playbook is the only thing left on the table. The mission? Erase Snow White from the cultural conversation. Fast. What's being floated around to shift the narrative? Brace yourself. It reads like a checklist from The Celebrity. Crisis Response Manual. Volume 101? One suggestion? A fake high-profile dating rumor. Maybe someone squeaky clean from a popular franchise. Think Marvel, or even one of those new Gen Z heartthrobs with a cult following. Just enough clickbait to flood the algorithm and bury The Simpsons backlash. But here's the kicker. The timing would be so obvious. Even Perez Hilton would raise an eyebrow. Another idea reportedly pitched in meetings? A cameo appearance in a beloved IP. Something with a nostalgic fan base that could rehabilitate her image by association. One exec even allegedly mentioned a surprise teaser in the upcoming Frozen spinoff. The goal? Tie her name to a franchise Disney hasn't set on fire? And then there's the most desperate pitch of all, the Oprah-style sit-down. Ziggler, framed in soft lighting, talking to a journalist she trusts, tearfully reflecting on her growth, her challenges, and how the pressure of sudden fame made her say things she now regrets. Sound familiar? That's because it's been done over and over, and fans know it. The minute that kind of interview drops, the comments write themselves. Oh look, here comes the redemption arc. The problem? Nobody's buying it anymore. Audiences aren't stupid, and Zegler's timing couldn't be worse. The Simpsons parody didn't just reignite backlash, it reminded the world exactly why it started in the first place. The smug tone, the anti-fairy tale rants, the dismissive comments about the very character she was paid millions to portray. It's not something you can walk back with a carefully worded apology and a tissue on cue. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, her social media silence. After the parody aired, Rachel didn't post, she didn't clap back, she didn't clarify, she disappeared. And for a celebrity who made her name being extremely online, that speaks volumes. Insiders say the silence was intentional. Her team allegedly ordered a digital lockdown. No tweets, no TikToks, no DMs, until they could figure out which direction to take the rebrand. But here's the real problem. This isn't just a PR issue anymore. It's a trust issue. The internet doesn't see Rachel as a misunderstood rising star. They see a performative princess who tried to rewrite a legacy, got called out, and now wants a do-over, without ever owning the mess she made. And once that narrative takes hold, it's nearly impossible to shake. Worse, Hollywood's watching. Studios don't like unpredictability. They like control. Predictable stars with clean arcs and bankable images. And Rachel's recent drama? That's not a clean arc. It's a messy PR nightmare wrapped in a meme, topped with a parody, and dressed in a flopped fairy tale costume. Sources say some execs are already labeling her PR toxic. Not scandalous enough to be edgy, not likable enough to bounce back, just polarizing, and in an industry that runs on perception, that label sticks. Which brings us to the final twist, and it's one that could change everything. For Disney, for Rachel, and for the future of how stars get built. Or broken. Here's where things get brutally real. Behind closed doors at Disney HQ, there's one word that keeps coming up in executive meetings: liability. And unfortunately for Rachel Zegler, she's become the textbook example. Allegedly, Disney's own internal audience tracking reports, yep, the kind of research studios guard with their lives, have been sounding alarm bells for months now. One insider leaked that sentiment scores for Ziggler-led content took a nosedive post-Snow White. Not just lukewarm, negative. Focus groups reportedly described her as inauthentic, condescending, and the dagger, impossible to root for. That's the death sentence in Disney's world. Because you can't sell lunchboxes with a lead your audience doesn't want to have dinner with. And speaking of lunchboxes, let's talk merch. It's bad. Stores that once anticipated record sales from the reimagined Snow White line are now slashing prices just to get rid of it. Limited edition dolls, sitting in clearance aisles, gathering dust next to unwanted Lightyear action figures. One Target employee even posted a TikTok showing a full shelf of untouched Ziggler Snow White merch under a handwritten 50% off sign. The caption, "We tried." That video hit 2 million views. The damage isn't just financial, it's reputational. Disney banks on its princesses being safe bets, household names. Girls want to dress like them, parents want to pay for it. And for decades, that formula worked. After the Snow White debacle, Disney is allegedly rebuilding the blueprint for future casting. One studio source described the shift as back to basics. Relatable, humble, media-savvy actresses who understand the assignment. They want princesses who sell hope, not headlines. Translation, Rachel was the gamble that blew up in their faces, and they're not going to make that mistake twice. More alarming for Ziggler? She's now viewed not as the next-gen star, but as the industry case study. Executives at rival studios are reportedly using her name as a cautionary tale during greenlight meetings. One source from a competing streamer bluntly stated, "We don't want a Ziggler situation." That's not a quote you come back from. Even within Disney, trust is fractured. Rumors suggest that Ziggler's name has been quietly removed from internal development slates for future animated crossovers and voice roles. Roles she was previously in consideration for vanished. Frozen 3, not happening. Raya sequel? They're going in a very different direction. And while Ziggler's team may try to spin this as creative evolution or new career priorities, industry insiders aren't fooled. The narrative has already hardened, and The Simpsons, with one single parody, sealed it in pop culture cement. Because The Simpsons didn't just roast Rachel, they made her the punchline to a studio's multi-million-dollar mistake. Disney can try to walk it back. They can pump out damage-controlled press releases, they can float whispers about giving her another chance in a smaller project, but it won't matter, because audiences have already made up their minds. And when your core demographic of moms, kids, and casual Disney fans starts eye-rolling instead of cheering, that's not a bump in the road. That's a brand collapse. And as of now, no amount of magic mirrors or poisoned apples can fix it. So here we are. A parody episode on The Simpsons wasn't just a joke, it was a reckoning. It exposed the cracks in the Rachel Zegler machine, amplified a cultural backlash that's been brewing for months and triggered what some are now calling the fastest fall from grace in modern Disney history. From red carpet darling to industry cautionary tale, all in under a year. And now, Hollywood's watching closely, because the next move, from Ziggler, from Disney, from the fans, will decide whether this story ends in redemption or a permanent blacklist. And something tells me this fairy tale won't end with a kiss.